Good morning, everybody. I won't even start in Romanian. My Romanian is just a little bit rusty. My first time I was in Bucharest was in 1987. I learned 3 words even before I got into the bus. First was schema valuta. Passport control, it was spaga. And there was one other one, which I can't tell you here in the room, but it was there. This was 1987. So it's been a while, and things have rapidly changed, and things are going to change even more. And I have a few slides about what is going to be waiting for us ahead. There has not been a time ever that people are so much talking about future. Everybody today is talking about the future. And so we today, there's never been a moment in history that people were talking so much about the future. About the past, about today. But about the future, never. So, in 2013, which is like the day after yesterday, after tomorrow, this is when I'm about to retire, and you guys are going to still sweat and work. 2013, many of the world economies will have more jobs than adults to do that. So that means we're going to have a lack of people to work. Everybody says, yeah, but technology, will that replace jobs? Yeah, it will, partially. I mean, if you look at automotive, 40% is already robots. In 1980, 10% of the cars had electronic parts. Today, in 2015, half of the cars have electronics. But we still need a lot of people to make sure that, and we call them the cognitive systems engineers, people that keep the car running. You've ever heard about VW. VW needs a lot of people to repair cars because some engineers were able to trick them. So we're going to need more and more people. More and more automatization doesn't necessarily mean that we're going to have less jobs. In fact, in Germany alone, and we're talking about 2015, there's a lack of 8 million people, which is about 20% of the current workforce, missing in action. Let's have a look at 2020. Now, I didn't get the numbers for Romania, but you may have, or you may get a bit of a feeling that we're all talking about unemployment rates. I'm the lucky one to be based in Milano, so we have an unemployment rate of roughly 12%. So there's a hell of a lot of people looking for jobs, but there's good news. Look at it, in 2020, Italy is going to go down from like 11, 12% of unemployment rate to 8%. But then if we're going to have a look at 2030, even in Italy, we're going to be looking for people. 4 out of 100 are going to be missing in action. And we're not doing that bad. Look at South Korea, look at Brazil, look at Germany. 23%, it's a negative unemployment rate. So what do we need to do? You know, everybody's talking about the GDP. What is it what we need to do just to make sure that we remain with the same GDP? Not even, you know, growing it, but just keep it the same. We need to get all the women to work. And that's not easy. A lot of governments still give not too many opportunities to women, so we need to be able to make sure that we get all the women involved in working. We need to increase the retirement age. That means when I'm going to be 70, I probably need to work a little bit longer. Not because you can't pay my pension, because there's no people to work. We just need more people. Oh, and by the way, the last one is always a big discussion. We do need to change the immigration laws, because there's so many people outside of Europe that want to come in, and in one way we like them, another way we don't like it, but we need them. So we need to do something about the immigration laws. Then, one more big challenge is the millennium psych. People that are now 10, 15, 20 years old, they expected to stay in a job for about 2 years. Not 20 years, 2 years. And in those 2 years, they're very much motivated by the number one thing, which is money. Flexibility. From day one, everybody wants to share ideas. You're going to go over to the boss and say, you know what you're doing, I don't think that's a great thing to do. So, we need to be able to work with that. And of course, they want progression. They want to come in, everybody wants to come in at VP, next day, day after, 2 weeks later, you want to be the general manager, and after 2 years, oh man, I've seen this job, 2 years, way too long. So, that is going to have an impact on our workforce. Google, and now we start to be reading what are we going to do in the next 10 to 15 years. See, Google collects a lot of old knowledge. Keyword is creativity. They cannot figure it out. Google cannot do anything about creativity. It can collect data. So the future of the workforce, we're going to be looking at people, we're going to be looking at lots and lots of people, but the key people are going to be the ones that will have a fantastic insight of creativity. In fact, my biggest fear for the future is probably not so much the missing amount of people or Googles, but it's, not robots acting like people, but it's more people acting like robots. I think that's the last slide. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.